Hare Krishna, welcome back to Teachings of Lord Chaitanya session. Anandita Mataji, your name shows as Anandita JDS. I think you meant JDS.
Hare Krishna, I don't know, Prabhuji. Yesterday I changed the name. Again, it has come like this.
Yeah.
I don't
Last
know
time also it
whether
came as JDS.
Zoom is taking my material surname also, Sharma. And then,
Okay, so let's just go ahead now.
yeah.
I'll chant the prayers and then we'll resume. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shlaka Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Mutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayan Dadati Swapradikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tavasadivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Mam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Padana Taikapradayine Gorakata Damda Nagaragramatharine Mam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Gopi Paranadana Sriti Namine Mam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Desatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Giram Yatripatamaham Bande Sri Krishnaridam Yatripatamaham Bande Paramananda Madhav Sri Chaitanya Swaram Katanchana Smrte Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhaveta Smrite Pritam Shyad Sri Chaitanyam Namamita. Okay, so
So probably which chapter we are in?
Who's going to share the screen today?
I can share.
I don't recollect the chapter numbers though, but I can.
Let us go and see. Huh? Let me share the screen.
You remember what is it? She's good at numbers.
Yeah. She's reading from the book, na?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanupana. Prabhuji, I'll just tell you, I think we just completed the 15th last time.
Explanation of Atma Ram verse, so we haven't done in the last class. As far as I remember.
Yes, Mataji. 15th, we have to do explanation for Atma Ram.
So we have finished 14, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is my screen visible to all?
Yes, Mataji.
Anybody would like to read?
Any volunteers to read? Okay. If there are no volunteers, you can do it yourself.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Chapter 15, explanation of the Atmaram verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya next explained to Sanatan Goswami a very famous verse known as the Atmaram verse, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10. Atmaramascha maniyo nirgrantha apya urukrame kurvantya ahetukim bhaktim itham bhuto guno hari. The general meaning of this verse is that those who are liberated souls and are fully satisfied within themselves will eventually become devotees of the Lord. This especially describes the impersonalist who have no information of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They try to remain satisfied with the impersonal Brahma. But Krishna is so attractive and so strong that he attracts their minds. This is the purport of this verse. Lord Chaitanya had previously explained this verse to the great Vedantist Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. Sanatana Goswami, after taking lessons from Lord Chaitanya, referred to this incident and prayed to the Lord to again explain the Atmaram verse. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, appreciating the Lord's explanation of the Atmaram verse, has glorified Lord Chaitanya in a prayer. Sanatana Goswami fell flat at the feet of the Lord Chaitanya and requested him to explain the verse as he had formerly explained it to Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. Sanatan expressed his eagerness to hear the same explanation in order that he might be enlightened. When the Lord was thus requested by Sanatan, he replied, "I do not understand why Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya so much appreciated my explanation. As far as I am concerned, I don't even remember what I said to him. But because you are asking this to me, with the help of your association, I shall try to explain whatever I can remember." Thus, the speaker and the audience are very intimately connected. The speaker is enlightened by the presence of the audience. The speaker or master can speak very nicely on transcendental subject matters before an understanding audience. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya said that he did not know how to explain the Sanskrit verse, but that since he was in the association of Sanatan, he would try to explain it. The Lord then went on to the point out there are 11 words in the Atmaram verse. First, Atmarama, Atmaramaha. Second, Cha. Third, Muniya. Fourth, Nirgrantha. Fifth, Api. Sixth, Urukrame. Seventh, Kurvanti. Eighth, Ahetukim. Ninth, Bhaktim. 10th, Itham Bhuta Guna. And 11th, the Hari. The Lord then began to explain each and every one of these words. As far as the Atmanam is concerned, the Lord explained that the word Atma means the Supreme Absolute Truth. Means first, the Supreme Absolute Truth. Second, the body. Third, the mind. Fourth, the endeavor. Fifth, intelligence. Sixth, conviction. And seventh, the nature. The word arama means enjoyer. Therefore, anyone who takes pleasure in the cultivation of the knowledge of these 7 items is known as an Atmarama. Later, the Lord would describe the different kinds of Atmaramas or transcendentalist. As for the word Muniya or Muni, those who are great thinkers are called Munis. Sometimes the word Muni is also applied to a person who is very grave. Great sages, great austere persons, great mystics, and learned scholars are also called Munis. The next word, Nirgrantha, indicates freedom from the bondage of illusion. Nirgrantha also means one who has no connection with scriptural injunctions. Grantha means revealed scriptures, and Nir is an affix which is used to mean no connection, constructing, and also prohibiting. There are many instructions for the spiritual realization, and persons who have no connection with such scriptural injunctions are known as Nirgrantha. There are many people who are foolish, low-born, and misbehaved, and who have no entrance into the revealed scriptures and injunctions. Therefore, they are called Nirgrantha. Because the word Grantha can also mean collected riches. Word Nirgrantha also indicates a poor man bereft of all riches who is attempting to collect riches. The word Urukrama is used to indicate a highly powerful person, since the word Krama is used to indicate the act of stepping. The word urukrama also indicates one who can step forward very far. The greatest step forward was taken by Lord Vamandev, who covered the whole universe in 2 steps. Thus, the Supreme Lord Vamandev is also known as Lord Urukrama. This this extraordinary feature of the Lord Vamandev is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.7.40. Vishnorna Vishnorno Virya Gananam Katamo Arhatiha Yah Parthi Vanya Pikavir Vimane Rajansi Chaskamba Yahaswa Ramhasas Phalata Triprishtham Yasmat Trisamya Sadanad Uru Kampayanam. No one can estimate the inconceivable potencies of Lord Krishna. Even if one could count the number of atomic combinations in this material world, he still could not count the different energies of the Supreme Lord. As Vamandev, the Lord was so powerful that simply by stepping forward, he discovered the whole universe from Brahmalok down to Patal. The inconceivable energies of the Lord are spread throughout the creation. He is all pervading, and by his energy, he sustains all the planetary systems. Yet, through his pleasure potency, he remains situated in his personal abode, known as Goloka. By the expansion of his opulence, he is present in all the Vaikuntha planets as Narayan. By expanding his material energy, he creates innumerable universes with the innumerable planets within them. Thus, no one can estimate the wonderful activities of the Supreme Lord. And therefore, the Supreme Lord is known as Urukrama, the wonderful actor. In the Vishwa Prakash dictionary, the word krama is defined as an expert display of energies as well as stepping forward very quickly. The word kurvanti means working for others. There is another word similar to this, which is used when one's activities are done for one's personal sense gratification. But the word kurvanti is used when the activities are performed for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Thus, in this verse, the word can only indicate the rendering of transcendental service to the Lord. The word hetu means reason or cause. Generally, people are engaged in transcendental activities for 3 reasons. Some want material happiness, some want mystic perfection, and some want liberation from the material bondage. As far as material enjoyment is concerned, there are so many varieties that no one can enumerate them. As far as perfections and mystic powers are concerned, there are 18. And as far as types of liberation from the material bondage are concerned, there are 5. The state of being where all these varieties of enjoyment and conspicuous by their the state of being where all these varieties of enjoyment are conspicuous by their absence is called ahetuki. The ahetuki qualification is specially mentioned because by the ahetuki service of the Lord, one can achieve the favor of the Lord. The word bhakti can be used in 10 different ways. One of these is sadhana bhakti or occupational devotional service. The other 9 are varieties of prema bhakti, love of Godhead. Those who are situated in the neutral position attain perfection up to the love of Godhead. Similarly, those who are situated in the relationship of master and servant attain the love of Godhead to the stage of attachment. Those who are related in friendship attain love of Godhead to the point of fraternity. Those who are in love with God as his parents are elevated to the point of transcendental emotion. But only those who are related with the Supreme in conjugal love can experience the highest of ecstasies. These are the sum of the different meanings of the word bhakti. The Lord next explained the different meanings of Ittam Bhuta Guna. Ittam Bhuta indicates full transcendental pleasure, before which even the transcendental pleasure known as Brahmananda becomes like straw. In the Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya, 14.36, the devotee says, Tvat Sakshatkar Halada Vishuddhabdhi Stitasya me Sukhani Goshpadayante Brahmanya Api Jagadguru. My Lord, O Supreme, simply by understanding you and you or seeing you, we derive a pleasure so great that the pleasure of Brahmanand becomes insignificant. In other words, the pleasure derived by understanding Krishna as he is as the all attractive reservoir of all pleasures and reservoir of all pleasure giving tastes with all transcendental qualifications attracts one to become his devotee. By virtue of such attraction, one can give up future activities and all endeavors for liberation and can even abandon the intense desire to achieve mystic power through success in yoga. The attractive power of Krishna is so intense that one loses respect for all other means of self-realization and simply surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Next, the Lord explained the word guna. In the Atmaram verse, guna indicates the ultimate transcendental qualities of Krishna, primarily those pertaining to his Satchidananda form. In his transcendental blissful knowledge and eternity, he is fully perfect, and his perfection is increased and he is controlled by the attention of his devotee. God is so kind and merciful that he gives himself in exchange for the devotional service of the devotee. His transcendental qualities are such that his perfect beauty, his perfect reciprocation of love between himself and his devotees, and the fragrance of his transcendental qualities attract different kinds of transcendentalists and liberated souls. For example, Krishna attracted the mind of Sanaka and other Kumaras simply by the aroma emanating from the flowers offered to him. He attracted the mind of Sukadeva Goswami by his transcendental pastimes. The minds of the damsels of Vrindavan were attracted by his personal beauty. Rukmini's attention was attracted by his bodily features and transcendental qualities. And the mind of the goddess of fortune was attracted by his flute playing and other transcendental features. In this way, Lord Krishna attracts the minds of all young girls. He also attracts the minds of elderly ladies by his childlike activities and the minds of his friends by his friendly activities. When he appeared in Vrindavan, he even attracted the birds, beasts, trees, and plants. Indeed, everyone became attracted in love and affection for Krishna. The word Hari has different meanings, of which two are principal. The name Hari indicates that Krishna takes away all inauspicious things from the devotee's life, and that he attracts the mind of the devotee by awarding him transcendental love of God. Krishna is so attractive that anyone who can somehow or other remember him becomes freed from the four kinds of material miseries. The Lord gives special attention to his devotee and banishes the devotee's various sinful activities, which are stumbling blocks for the advancement of devotional service. This is called routing the influence of ignorance. Simply by Hearing about him, one develops love for him. That is the gift of the Lord. On one side, he takes away inauspicious things, and on the other side, he awards the most auspicious things. That is the meaning of Hari. When a person is developed in the love of God, his body, mind, and everything else are attracted by the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Such is the power of the Krishna's merciful potencies, activities, and transcendental qualities. He is so attractive that out of transcendental attachment to him, a devotee will give up all the four principles of material success: religiosity, economic development, regulated sense gratification, and salvation. The words api and cha are adverbs and can be used for virtually any purpose. The word cha or and can render seven different readings to the whole construction. The Lord thus established the import of the 11 words in the Atmanam verse, and then he began to further explain the verse as follows. The word Brahma means the greatest in all respects. The Lord is the greatest in all opulences. No one can excel him in wealth. No one can excel him in strength. No one can excel him in fame. No one can excel him in beauty, and no one can excel him in knowledge, and no one can excel him in renunciation. Thus, the word Brahman actually indicates the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In the Vishnu Puran 112:57, the word Brahman is said to indicate the greatest of all, the Supreme Lord, who as the greatest who has the greatest expanse with no limit. One may conceive of Brahman's greatness, yet this greatness grows in such a way that no one can estimate how great he actually is. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized in three aspects, but they are all one and the same. The Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality, Krishna, is everlasting. In Srimad Bhagavatam 2:933, it is said that he exists before the manifestation of this cosmic world, that he exists during its continuance, and that he continues to exist after its annihilation. Therefore, he is the great soul of everything. He is all pervading and all witnessing, and he is the supreme form of everything. There are three different kinds of transcendental processes mentioned in the Vedic literature by which one can understand and achieve that supreme perfection of the absolute truth. They are the process of knowledge, the process of mystic yoga, and the process of devotional service. The followers of these three processes realizes the absolute truth in three different aspects. Those who follow the process of knowledge realize him as impersonal Brahman. Those who follow the process of yoga realize him as the localized supersoul. And those who follow the process of devotional service realize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. In other words, although the word Brahman indicates Krishna and nothing else, still, according to the process that is followed, let me read it. In other words, although the word Brahman indicates Krishna and nothing else, still, according to the process that is followed, the Lord is realized in three different aspects. As far as devotional service is concerned, there are two divisions. In the beginning, there is Vidhi Bhakti or devotional service with regulated principles. In the higher stage, there is Raga Bhakti or devotional service and pure love. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is absolute truth, but he is manifested by the expansions of his different energies also. Those who follow the regulated principles of devotional service ultimately attain to the Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual world. But one who follows the principles of love and devotional service attain to the supreme abode, the highest planet in the spiritual world, known as Krishna Loka or Golok Vrindavan. Transcendental list can also be divided into three categories. The word akam refers to one who does not have any material desires. Mokshakam refers to one who seeks liberation from material miseries. And Sarvakam refers to one who wants to enjoy by fulfilling material desires. The most intelligent transcendentalist gives up all the other processes and engages in the devotional service of the Lord, even though he may have many desires. Through no kind of activity, whether future action, or the cultivation of knowledge, or the cultivation of the mystic yoga, can a person achieve the highest perfection without adding a tinge of devotional service. Except for devotional service, all transcendental processes are just like nipples on the neck of a goat. The nipples on a goat's neck may be squeezed, but they do not supply milk. Therefore, if one is to derive actual perfection from his process, he must take to the devotional service of Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita 7.16, the Lord Krishna states, Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritinarjuna artha jigyasur artharthi jnani cha bharata shabha. O best of the Bharatas, four kinds of people with very righteous backgrounds take up devotional service to me. They are distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of the material profit, and the jnanis, or the wise men. Out of these four, those who are distressed and those who desire wealth are called sakam devotees. Devotees with material desires are called sakam devotees, devotees with material desires. Where is the other two, the inquisitive and the searcher for wisdom, are mokshakam devotees, seekers of liberation. Because they all worship Krishna, they are all considered to be very fortunate. In due course of time, if they give up all desires and become pure devotees of the Supreme Lord, they can be considered most fortunate. Such fortunate beginners can develop only in the association of pure devotees. Lord Krishna, such fortunate beginners can develop only in the association of pure devotees of Lord Krishna. When one associates with pure devotees, he becomes a pure devotee himself. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:10-11. Satsangan mukta duhasango atam not sahate buddha kirtya manam yaso yasho yasya sakrit akarnya racho rochanam. A person who is actually intelligent is able by the association of pure devotees to hear the descriptions of Lord Krishna and his activities. These activities are so attractive that one who hears of them does not wish to give up such association with the Lord. Except for the association of pure devotees, all association is katar or cheating. This is considered in Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1-2, which states all cheating processes which obstruct transcendental realization are to be thrown off. By Srimad Bhagavatam, one can understand reality as it is, and such understanding helps one to transcend the three kinds of material miseries. Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva, and it is a work coming out of his nature, a mature experience. By understanding Srimad Bhagavatam and rendering devotional service, one can immediately capture the Supreme Lord within his heart. Lord Chaitanya then explained that the word projita in this Bhagavatam verse refers to the desire for liberation. One great commentator explained that the desire for liberation is the most obstructive stumbling block on the path of God realization. But if one somehow or other comes to Krishna and begins to hear about him, Krishna is so kind that he awards him his lotus feet as a shelter. Then the devotee or the transcendentalist forgets everything and engages in the devotional service of the Lord. When one comes to the Lord in devotional service and on in the full Krishna consciousness, the reward is the Supreme Himself. Once engaged for the Supreme, one can no longer ask for anything, as do the distressed men. And he who desires material possessions. The association of pure devotees, the causeless mercy of the Lord, and the devotional service itself. These three act so wonderfully that one can give up all of the activities and become absorbed in Krishna, whether one is distressed, in want of the material possessions, or inquisitive, or even one is a wise man cultivating knowledge. In summary, Krishna is the meaning behind all the words in the Atmanam verse. Up to this point, the Lord Chaitanya spoke only of the introduction to the Atmanam verse. Next, he explained its real position. There are two kinds of transcendentalists.
Can you just pause for a while?
Yeah.
Okay, we read quite a bit. Does any of you have any thoughts or questions so far? What have we read?
There was explanation. 12 kinds of devotional service or like that. Something was given 10 or 12. Wherein the friendship and the conjugal love.
So it is
These things
explained
are
about
mentioned.
nine types are in love itself.
Yeah,
There are
something
two
was there.
processes. There are two processes, and then nine in the process of love. So the sadhana is Vaidhi and Raganuga, and the remaining prema and bhava and prema they considered in the nine. I don't know what the nine refers to there. Though.
Yeah, it was somewhat tricky.
One thing that Prabhupada mentions in this summary is that there are unlimited varieties of sense gratification. Unlimited. 18 types of mystic perfection.
How is it 18? 8? I think 8 is written or 18?
18 types of mystic perfection.
Okay.
That's what he mentions here. So I don't know, probably there is some reference to more than what we study as a standard perfection.
Because anima, lagima, these are 8.
Yeah. So I don't know whether it is 18 or lesser than that. So I just noticed that he says that here. Sometimes these things could be typing errors also when they.
Because we see there are differences in the book and the Veda-based scripts.
Material enjoyment is unlimited.
They're all temporary.
Pardon?
But everything is temporary.
Yeah, but it's unlimited, no?
How can it be possible?
So our acharyas have explained it is unlimited because the types of sense gratification that you can attain in this world is unlimited. But all of that, if you put together, it is like a drop of water in a desert. even though that's unlimited, but all of it put together is equivalent to a drop of water in a desert. And which means that when you are in the middle of a desert, the quench that you have for thirst is very high. So one drop of it cannot quench that thirst for water. Now, first of all, it is not even something which is spiritual. So it is a pleasure of identification. It is not even something that the soul is directly experiencing. Soul is experiencing by identification. But even that, the unlimited varieties put together is like a drop in the desert. Yes, one drop of water also may feel great in a parched desert, but it's not going to quench the thirst. Rukmini Hariseni Mataji, you had something to say?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanutnam. Yes, Prabhuji. We read here that there are the word bhakti can be used in 10 different ways. One of these is sadhana bhakti or occasional devotional service, and other 9 are varieties of prema bhakti, love of Godhead. Prabhuji,
Yeah.
what are the 9 varieties?
Yeah, that's what we were just discussing. Refers to. Are 5, indirect relationships are 7. So I don't know what the 9 refers, where that 9 figure is coming from. I don't know. 5 is understandable. Of course, in the brain, there are 4 categories of prema also. But even in that, if you take it, or maybe there are 9. Anyway, I need to look that up. Within prema also, there are classifications. I mean, does anybody recollect? What is it? How many classifications of prema? What I recollect is 4. Maybe it's more.
Bhav, Mahabhav, is it? Are these the categories? Bhav, Mahabhav. So Radharani is on the topmost level.
Radharani is topmost. No, Bhava is before Prema. Within Prema itself, there are, from what I know, I think it is 4 within that. Anyway, but if there are 4 within that and 5 relationships, maybe that's what it refers to as 9. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But like, for example, in one lecture, Prabhupada says that generally we read about Adhyatmika, Adidevika, and Adibhautika miseries. There are 3 types of miseries. But we also study about the 4 types of miseries: birth, death, old age, and disease. So in one lecture, Prabhupada says, so if we combine this 4 with the 3, it becomes 7-fold miseries. So I don't know if this is the sense in which it is being used. There are 4 within prema. There's 4 plus there is another 5 types of relations. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. Unless we know it, we don't. Unless we know it, we don't know it. That's it. I can look up the Chaitanya Charitamrita and check what is being referred to. Because this is a summary of Lord Chaitanya's. We have the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We can look that up there. Yes, Nandapadni Mataji.
Guruji, in Vani quotes, it's written the 9 varieties of Prema Bhakti are Rati, Prema, Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, and Mahabhav.
Okay, so fine. Thank you. So it's not 4, it's 9 then. Yeah, the 4 are the Madhuris of Krishna. The sweetness of Krishna are 4. Okay. Prema has 9 categories. Yeah. Fine. Thank you. And one interesting thing that if you may have observed in this section, Prabhupada summarizes Kaitava. Association with anybody other than the pure devotees, he calls it as cheating. That's pretty interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah. So association with anyone who is not a pure devotee is considered cheating. Okay.
Sorry, pardon, Prabhuji.
No, I was just saying that if you observed here, Prabhupada refers to association with anyone other than the pure devotees is considered to be cheating.
Yes.
That means the desire for association. It's not necessarily that we're going on the road and meeting people at work. We meet people in family, there may not be devotees. But those are all circumstantial, which is not created by you. Wherever we are placed in, we act in that atmosphere, but we don't choose it. That's the whole idea. We don't choose to go and associate with non-devotees. Okay, you can continue with your reading.
Can I
I'm very
share?
little.
Sorry, I
Sorry.
have a question.
Can I?
Pardon? Nandapadni Mataji, you have something to say?
Yes, Prabhuji, can you hear me properly?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Prabhuji, why is it called cheating? Like, why the word cheating is used here? How to understand that?
The cheating means that cheating whom actually? Cheating yourself, which means that you have a desire other than the desire to serve Krishna exclusively. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyana anukulena Krishna nishiraram bhaktiruttama. So you have anya abhilasha. So therefore, that is considered a cheating process. Cheating process means anything which has got which has got the feature of personal gain. That is called cheating. Cheating yourself, that's what it means.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Rukmini Mataji was saying something. You have
Yeah.
any question?
No, I was saying that I have logged in from the laptop. So can I share the screen?
Yeah, sure, Mataji.
I think she wants to read also. You can read. She's very fond of reading.
Can we start again from the here? Except
Okay.
except for the association of pure devotees, all association is kartava or cheating.
Please read slowly. Yeah, slowly.
Okay. Except for the association of pure devotees, all association is kaitava or cheating. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2, which states all cheating processes which obstruct transcendental realization are to be thrown off. By Srimad Bhagavatam, one can understand reality as it is, and such understanding helps one transcend the three kinds of material miseries. Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled by the greatest sage Vyasadeva, and it is a work coming out of his mature experience. By understanding Srimad Bhagavatam and rendering devotional service, one can immediately capture the Supreme Lord within his heart. Lord Chaitanya then explained that the word prohita, projita, in this Bhagavatam verse refers to the desire for liberation. One great commentator explained that desire for liberation is the most obstructive stumbling block on the path of God realization. But if one somehow or other comes to Krishna and begins to hear about him, Krishna is so kind that
Krishna
he.
Mataji, we have read all these things.
Okay.
We have already done.
Yeah, we
Only
have
the
done it. We
last
just wanted to read.
two paragraphs
That's
are
why she
left,
asked,
I think.
can I read that again? I said, okay.
Okay.
Then the devotee or transcendentalist forgets everything and engages in the devotional service of the Lord. When one comes to the Lord in devotional service or in full Krishna consciousness, the reward is the Supreme Himself. Once engaged for the Supreme, one no longer asks for anything, as do the distressed man and he who desires material possessions. The association of pure devotees, the causeless mercy of the Lord, and devotional service itself, these three act so wonderfully that one can give up all other activities and become absorbed in Krishna, whether one is distressed, in want of material possession, or inquisitive, or even if one is a wise man cultivating knowledge. In summary, Krishna is the meaning behind all the words in the Atmaram verse. Up to this point, Lord Chaitanya spoke only of the introduction of the Atmaram verse. Next, he explained its real position. There are two kinds of transcendentalists who cultivate knowledge. One of them worships the impersonal Brahman and the other desires liberation. The Brahman worshippers or monists are further divided into three categories. The neophyte, the one who is absorbed in Brahman realization, and one who has actually realized himself as Brahman. If devotional service is added, the knower of Brahman can then become liberated, otherwise, there is no possibility of liberation. Anyone who is fully engaged in devotional service in Krishna consciousness is understood to be already realized in Brahman. Devotional service is so strong that one is attracted to Krishna even from the platform of Brahman worship. The Lord awards the devotee the perfection of a spiritual body, and the devotee eternally engages in the transcendental service of Krishna. It is when the devotee understands and becomes attracted by Krishna's transcendental qualities that he wholeheartedly engages in devotional service. For instance, the four Kumaras and Shukadev Goswami were liberated from the beginning of their lives. Yet, in their later life, they became attracted to the pastimes of Krishna and became devotees. Sanak and other Kumaras were attracted by the aroma of the flowers offered to Krishna and by his transcendental qualities, and thus they engaged in his devotional service. Similarly, the nine mystics mentioned in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam are understood to have been transcendentalists from birth, but they became devotees of the Lord by virtue of hearing the transcendental qualities of Krishna from Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Narada. Sometimes one becomes attractive to Krishna and his transcendental qualities simply by looking upon the beautiful features of his transcendental body. In this case, also, one abandons the desire for liberation and engages in his devotional service. The devotee repents his loss of time in the so called cultivation of knowledge and becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. There are two kinds of souls who are liberated even while in material bodies: the soul liberated by devotional service and the soul liberated by the cultivation of knowledge. The liberated soul in devotional service, attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna, becomes more and more elevated, whereas those who engage in dry speculation and simply cultivate knowledge without devotion fall on account of their many offenses. This is confirmed with Srimad Bhagavatam 10 to 32, where it is stated, Ye Naya Ramindaksh Vimukt Maninas Toy Ast Bhavad Avishuddh Buddhayah Aruya Kritshinne Param Padam Tatah Patante Atho Nadrita Yushmat Angraha. O Lord, the intelligence of those who think themselves liberated but who are without even a touch of devotional service is not pure. Even though they rise to the highest point of liberation by dint of severe penances and austerity, they are sure to fall down again into this material existence, for they do not take shelter at your lotus feet. Lord Krishna confirms this is in the Bhagavad Gita 18.54. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Shochati Na Kanshati Samha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labte Param. One who is actually situated in Brahman realization is fully joyful, has no reason to lament or desire anything, and is equal to everyone. Thus, he is eligible for pure devotional service. This was illustrated by Bilmangal Thakur, who in his later life wrote, I was situated as a monist in order to become one with the Supreme, but somehow or other I contacted a naughty boy and became his eternal servitor. In other words, those who attain self realization by the execution of devotional service attain a transcendental body, and being attracted to the transcendental qualities of Krishna, engage fully in pure devotional service. Anyone who is not attracted to Krishna is understood to be still under the spell of Maya, but who is attempting to be liberated by the process of devotional service is actually liberated from this spell. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many instances recorded of devotees who became liberated in this life simply by engaging in devotional service. Prabhuji, can you please tell what is exactly meaning of monist?
One is an impersonalist.
Impersonalist.
Okay, so we've come to the end of this chapter. Um, this is a very technical subject matter. As we saw how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu analyzed it, and in the beginning, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu makes a very important point that both the speaker and the hearer are important. The hearer is actually important for explanation of spiritual topics. So that point Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself makes. So he says that because you are a favorable audience, so I feel enlivened to speak about the Atma Rama verse. He had explained it to Lord Sarvam Bhattacharya before, but he says that because you are enthusiastic and you're the right audience, so I feel enthusiastic to speak about it. So we saw each word, how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu analyzes each word. Now we need to know that we need to remember that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. So there cannot be a greater devotee than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Radha and Krishna combined. And he has appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. There cannot be a greater devotee than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There cannot be a more profound explanation of the Atma Rama verse than what we hear from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, we may not be able to understand all the technical aspects of the explanation, but the 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 essence of the explanation is that Krishna is so attractive that even those who are able to attain the highest state of spiritual happiness by their endeavors, which is the Jnana yogis or the monists, even those, I mean, of course, when I say that by their efforts, there has to be an element of bhakti, even for jnana to be successful, or even mystic yoga to be successful. There has to be an element of bhakti that we study in the Bhagavad Gita. But even the highest amount of happiness achieved through such spiritual experience is insignificant compared to the attractiveness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then you have the example of several great devotees who have been quoted here, the Kumaras, Shukadeva Goswami, Bilvamangal Thakur, the Navayogendras. So they're all quoted here as examples of how attractive the Supreme Lord is, that even these great personalities were attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, which means that even the self-satisfied people can also be attracted. Self-satisfied, those who attained liberation already. Even they can be attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So how attractive Krishna can be. In this world, everybody is trying to attain their self-satisfaction. It's not possible without getting liberation. That's why people are driven like puppets, as we have that picture. Puppets in the hands of the three modes of nature. They're driven constantly harassed with the three modes. But when they are beyond that harassment, beyond those cravings, when they become self-satisfied by becoming Brahman, I mean, by becoming Brahmavadis or whatever, they realize Brahman or realize Paramatma, the mystic yogi, still there is no activity present. There's no bhakti. It is the activity which involves pleasure. So Krishna's pastimes are so attractive that even those who have attained, who have no hankerings and lamentations, even they are attracted by Krishna's pastimes. So these are some of the things which we heard today in the reading session. If there are some reflections that you would like to share, or if there are some comments that you want to make, or if there are some questions that you want to ask, you can do so.
Prabhuji, can you please give an example that we read in Bhagavad Gita that Karma Yoga and Gyan Yoga, if they have to be successful, there is an element of bhakti present there. So can you please give a little example that how Karma Yoga in itself cannot successful, bhakti should be there. The element of bhakti should be there.
That is explained by all our acharyas. And even Krishna also, if you see every chapter Bhagavad Gita, in the Karma Yoga, in second chapter also, there are a couple of verses at least where Krishna speaks about bhakti. So everywhere it is there. So it is like Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains that you could say the first 6 chapters deal with karma, the last 6 chapters deal with jnana, the middle 6 chapters deal with bhakti. And he says it's like a sandwich, bhakti sandwich between the two. So bhakti gives life to karma, bhakti gives life to jnana. That's why it's in between the two. So there has to be a certain element of bhakti, because karma yoga, there is a certain element of bhakti, even though you're doing it for your sake, but not you're doing activities according to your, not your sake, sorry. You're doing activities according to your conditioning, but because you're offering it to Krishna, there is an element of bhakti there. Similarly, jnana also has to have that element of bhakti. So like that, that's how it is. So in these chapters, dealing with Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, there is, Krishna speaks about bhakti also in these chapters. So there are no chapters which are devoid of bhakti, because that's bhakti is what gives life. Bhakti is necessary for karma or jnana or ashtanga to be successful.
Karm Yoga, Karm Kand is what that I'm doing the things. Karm Yoga is what that I'm doing it, but I'm offering the result to Krishna. That is Karm Yoga. So
No,
this is how that I'm
the one is sakama karma. Sakama karma means one is just performing activities and trying to enjoy the results. Okay, and in karma yoga, by definition, is nishkama, which means you're not trying to enjoy the results. You're acting according to your conditioning, but you're offering the results to Krishna. Then you have bhakti, where you're not acting according to your conditioning. You're acting according to what Krishna wants. And that's it. So, of course, Prabhupada translates Karma Yoga as action in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so what he means by that is that it is a preliminary stage of Bhakti Yoga. Because, I mean, preliminary in the sense that, see, Prabhupada uses Krishna consciousness referred to Karma Yoga and to Bhakti Yoga. So, Karma Yoga is actually a preliminary stage of Bhakti Yoga itself. That's how Prabhupada links it, you know. So, we have to be conscious of that fact that, yes, we do things according to our conditioning and offer the results to Krishna. Of course, we chant the chant 16 rounds, follow the four, all that is there. Then we have to come to a stage where we act not just according to our conditioning, according to what is needed for Krishna. That is the highest stage of Krishna consciousness. Preliminary stages, we act according to our conditioning.
And Prabhuji, can you please give the example of Gyan Yoga also?
Pardon?
Can you please give the example of Gyan Yoga also, that how Gyan Yoga there is an element of bhakti present?
Oh yeah, they have to worship the Supreme Lord also, no? It's not just jnana, they have to also perform some activity of bhakti. It's not that just even when Prakashananda Saraswati and others, they met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, why are you spending the whole day doing this? You know, so that is, but at the same time, they cannot be free of doing it also, but in a very regulated fashion. Just like karma yogis are busy with acting in karmic activities, but still they involve in some bhakti. You know, similarly, same thing with the jnana. Predominantly, they're reading Shastra. Script, I mean, yeah, that's what. Predominantly, they're engaging their mind in thinking about liberation by studying the Vedanta and things like that. But it's not that they're devoid of bhakti completely. There is a certain portion where they perform some bhakti.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah.
So Prabhuji, these three realizations of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan. So Brahman realization, person who realizes God as Brahman reaches Brahma Jyoti. And since there is no engagement for the soul there, they fall down.
Yeah.
So people who are who realize Bhagwan as or God as Paramatma, what happens to them? Do they go to Vaikuntha planet?
They generally know. They just no. They have to progress to the stage of bhakti. Otherwise, they can't go to Vaikuntha planets also. They have to further progress. It is an impetus to go to the next stage. They generally do. They generally do. They generally do.
So they again come back in the form of a human being.
No. They generally do. They generally progress to the next stage.
Okay. So
generally, that's what happens. Those who realize Paramatma go on to the next stage and realize Bhagavan also. I think this is explained by Baldev Vidyabhushan. Once I asked Banuswami, and he told me something like that, which generally they do.
Okay. But there's always a chance of fall down from there also, right?
No, it's like this. The chances are lesser, no? Like, See, Sat means there is no realization of the personal feature of God at all. It's just some energy, right? And whereas the next stage, Sat and Chit, there is both eternity and knowledge. You're seeing the personality of God, right? They see Paramatma, no? It's not that they are. So they see the form of the Lord, right? And then you have seeing the form of the Lord, Sat, Chit, and Ananda, which means that there is also an activity, an interaction with the Supreme Lord.
Right. So, which means that mostly people who reach up till this stage will go up to the stage of Bhagwan realization also.
Generally, so Brahman realization, they fall down. But from Paramatma realization, they generally don't fall down. They progress to the next level.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Guruji.
I mean, again, I want to just put just a disclaimer. That's what I understood when I asked this question to Bhanu Swami and he explained it. Based, I think, on Japaladeva Bhush. I have to verify it myself, but that's my understanding of my conversation with Bhanu Swami.
Okay, Guruji. Good enough for me. Thank you.
Today is the Panihati festival. You're not observing that, or are you all observing Panihati festival in Delhi today, or is it the weekend or something? Can you hear me, Hare Krishna?
Yes, Guruji, there's no festivity today in the temple. I think might happen over the weekend.
You're going to have it over the weekend, is it? Okay.
Seems like it.
Okay. Yeah, most temples do that actually, because whenever it falls on a weekday, it's difficult. Okay, so thank you all very much for joining. We'll resume again next Thursday. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyavcha paripanam pavanebhyo vatsebhyo namo namah. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premananda.
Thank you so much, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.